If you are building a business and building a team and you just immediately dismiss anybody that has ideas and is genuinely trying to help you out, you are doing yourself and your team a disservice. It's not going to work well. How is it going, ladies and gentlemen? This is Sean Barnes. I want to welcome you back to The Way of the Wolf. On the show today, I'm going to be talking about identifying the constraint in your business. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, all businesses grow to a point of whatever the constraint is. And your constraint is going to change at the various stages of your business's growth. And sometimes you just kind of fumble your way through it and figure it out. But learning how to develop skills around constantly assessing the state of your business and how to identify the constraint and then open up that constraint, that is what we need to focus on. If you have phenomenal branding and marketing and salespeople and have enough interest to be able to have 100 people come through your door every single month, great, that's fantastic. You have a large enough team to be able to service the work and support all 100 people that are coming through your doors. However, the door is only this small, and your onboarding process, the contracts, the agreements, the whole process in and of itself is clunky and convoluted, and you can actually only get 10 people a month through the door. That's your constraint. You've got 100 people wanting in. You've got enough members on your team to support 100 people, but you can only get 10 through the door. That's the problem. And I see some founders that are great at the marketing and selling, and they love just having conversations, and they have a great team, but their process to get people through the door just sucks. That's the problem. That's what we have to focus on fixing. Okay, well, how do we do that? Hey, real quick, guys, we know how challenging it can be to build a team, to start a business, to scale a business. This new series that I'm doing has garnered a tremendous amount of attention, and so I'm going to dive into this a little bit more. One thing that would really help me out is if you could take 15 seconds to leave a review, share this episode with a friend. That is all I ask. I'm not selling anything. There's no ads that are on this show. This is all just about providing value and trying to help people out. So if you could share this with some friends, leave me a review that pushes the algorithm out there, gets it out in front of more eyes and ears. That's what this is all about. Let's see if we can positively impact more people's lives. The first thing that we need to do is actually slow down. It's very easy for us to get all wrapped up in the chaos that exists in our business, with our teams, with the world the way it is. It's just an absolute mess. We have to be intentional about slowing down and maybe sitting down with a pen and paper. Or I love whiteboarding stuff out. So draw stuff out on a whiteboard and actually start mapping out what your business processes look like from start to finish. If you have never done any sort of business process mapping, shoot me a message. I'm happy to support you and help you with it. I will also try to dig up some sort of link and post it down in the show notes below with some other videos or content that can potentially help you out. But understanding how to map your business processes out will very quickly show you where that constraint is. In the example that I cited earlier, yeah, that's a very basic fundamental thing. But if we expand that out to some sort of widget company or product company, if you have all the pieces to assemble 1,000 tools a month, and then you have customer demand that can chew up that 1,000 a month, but you can only get 10 tools out the door a month, what does that tell you? You probably need more people assembling tools. Or if you have too many people and they're not good at what they do, maybe you need to train those people so that they can assemble more than 10 tools a month. So you can see how nuanced each example and business process can become. You can figure this out on your own. You can go out on the internet. Knowledge is free this day and age, and you can research and you can figure all of this stuff out, or you can find a mentor. Go have lunch with somebody that's in the same business, somebody that you respect and admire and trust, and just open up to them and tell them, hey, this is what I'm struggling with. Can you help me out? An interesting thing occurs, though. You have to be open to the feedback. I recently had the opportunity to sit down with somebody that was struggling with their business. And as the conversation unfolded, it was in a room full of multiple people. Everybody was kind of asking some questions and sharing some feedback. And I did the same. I was asking a lot of different questions. I didn't know a whole lot about this person's business. But it got to a point where I started asking more intentional questions to get him there on his own. And I quickly realized he wasn't going to get there. And so I just provided some feedback to him and said, I think this is part of the problem. He looked me dead in the face and said, I disagree. We're moving on. What's crazy about that is I was potentially going to be a customer. But in that moment, this founder's ego was so massive, it quickly showed me that he is not open to any sort of feedback. He kind of wanted the feedback, but at the same time, he didn't really want to listen to the feedback. If you are building a business and building a team and you just immediately dismiss anybody that has ideas and is genuinely trying to help you out, you are doing yourself and your team a disservice. It's not going to work well. Slow down. Take the time to map out your business processes, figure out where the bottleneck is, and then learn how to unlock that constraint. That is how you build and scale companies. It's all about identifying the constraint. But here's an interesting thing that also occurs when you do that. Let's go back to this example of you have parts to assemble 1,000 tools. You have customers that will buy 1,000 tools, but you can only assemble 10. Okay. All of a sudden, you hire more people, you train that talent, and now you have a team that can build 1,500 tools a month. Great. Where's the constraint now? Supply chain. We can only get parts for 1,000 tools a month. All right. Now we got to figure out how do we get more parts and components in. Once you get to a point to where you can have all of the components to be able to build and assemble 1,500 tools a month, now you got to sell it. You need to make sure that the customers. So in a very real way, you can see how even when you unlock one area, all of a sudden you now have a new constraint. And that's what you got to focus on. You have to build skills around constantly identifying where the constraint is in your business and then learning how to unlock it. That, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be the key to growing and scaling your business. All right, that is all I have for the show today. Thank you so much, and y'all have a good one.